What was a time you should have died? A stranger lured me away from a park with promises of a Game Boy, led me down an increasingly isolated road, and I only escaped when my mom called in a panic, later realizing he was likely an organ harvester. When I was in grade school, my mom told me to meet her at a local park for a family picnic. I'd just gotten my first cell phone, a Nokia, and was excited to use it, always eager to help people, never questioning why a grown man would need a child's assistance with directions. Maybe I should have remembered the stranger danger lessons better. I got to the park about 30 minutes early, so I sat on a bench playing Snake on my phone while I waited. Then a man approached me and asked if I was a local. I said yes. He asked if I knew the way to a popular tourist spot in our city. Being young and naive, despite all the stranger danger warnings, I was eager to help a tourist find his way. I told him yes, I knew how to get there. Then he asked if I could show him the way. Again, being a dumb kid, I agreed. There were many routes to the tourist spot, but the man asked if we could go a certain way because he said he wanted to stop at his hotel and get a Game Boy to give me his thanks for being helpful. I'd never owned a gaming console, so I got excited and told him sure. On the way, he talked about all the kids he'd given Game Boys to and how happy he'd made them. He even gave me 100 pesos, about $2, for being helpful. It seemed like proof he was genuine. Once we got near his hotel, he said he had to make a phone call. When he finished, he claimed his roommate had left and he was locked out, so we'd have to go to the original destination to get the Game Boy instead. I didn't mind since I had time to kill before the picnic. The breaking point came when he asked me to choose our route. From the park, there were multiple ways to reach the tourist destination since the park was in the city center. The fastest route was through a road with fewer people and less car traffic. This didn't raise any red flags for me because I was completely clueless. So I told him the fastest way was through that secluded road. He seemed like a nice guy and we just talked casually as we walked. About a quarter of the way down the isolated road, my phone rang. It was my mom asking where I was. I told her I was helping a tourist get to his destination down the secluded road. She immediately started freaking out and told me to get away from him right now. I had never heard my mom sound so panicked and angry in my life. I apologized to the man and ran back toward the park to meet my family. My mom was furious with me for going off with a stranger, but we had our picnic and everything seemed fine. When we got our weekly newspaper a few days later, I grabbed it to check the Sunday comics. On the front page was a report about organ harvesters who had been kidnapping children in our area. Several kids had gone missing after being approached by friendly strangers offering gifts. I didn't connect the dots until high school when I finally understood what had almost happened to me. The Game Boy promise, the isolated route, the phone call to his roommate. It was all part of getting me alone and far from help. If my mom hadn't called exactly when she did, I would have ended up much further down that secluded road with a man who had no intention of giving me a Game Boy.